In case you couldn't tell, I like pink. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a new video. I know what you're thinking. This is not a coffee this time, it's tea. I've been drinking tea a lot for the past couple of days because I have been quite ill, especially over the Easter, and that's also why I haven't really posted much here on Booktube. And I actually have my doctor's appointment today, so I'm not completely healthy yet, which you can probably hear on my voice, but it's so much better, so I'm very grateful. And hence tea. And I decided to film video today anyway because I have a day off and because I'm feeling much better. I just wanted to catch up with you a little bit, and actually in March I did celebrate 5 years on Booktube, a little anniversary, which I am super excited about, and it just makes me very happy. And I thought that with this opportunity I would just go and do a little book shopping as one deserves, because I've been doing this thing for 5 years. And yes, you guessed correctly, I originally assumed that I would buy 5 books, but then I ended up with 3 only because those were quite chunky ones anyway. So I just got 3 books, and I thought that I would show them to you because some of you might have already seen them on my Instagram, but I do realize that not everyone who follows me on Instagram follows me here, and vice versa, which is actually quite interesting. But I just thought I would show you those books. And also I decided to do a little tag in this video because I haven't done a tag video for quite a while, and if you have been following me for that long, you know that doing tag videos used to be one of my favorite things to do here on Booktube. So I thought that I would honor that and also do a little tag video, because also, as it happens, I have been tagged to do one, but I will tell you about it a little bit later. So anyway, my friends, and before I get into this, first of all, I would just love to say a big thank you to everyone who have been here this long. And if you actually have been here this long, if you've seen some of my first videos, which please don't go there, don't scroll back and don't look at them, because yeah, it's been a while. But if you've been here this long, please leave a comment and let me know, because I would love to know. And anyway, my friends, if you've been here this long, please let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for this journey that you shared with me. And if you are new here, please welcome, and I would love to have you here as well. So yeah, sorry, my brain is just keep going there, but anyway, thank you. And without further ado, let's just jump to those books, because I'm very excited to show them to you. So my friends, when I tell you that I got 3 chunky books, I mean chunky, like big ones, like big cookies, like literally this big, it's bigger than my head. And I'm super excited about this because a couple days ago I finished earlier at work, and I thought, okay, I had 5 years anniversary, I'm gonna just go and see what is in the bookstores. And I also wanted to explore some new bookstores, but it's been raining so much that day and my umbrella broke as well, that I just ended up going to 2 of them. And one of them I already showed you, I believe. It's called Thalia, and it's this big sort of like franchise bookstore here in Vienna, something like Waterstones in, for example, Scotland or UK. And then the other one, which I don't think I've shown you before, but it's this one, absolutely sweet, cute spot where they have both English and German books, and it also includes little coffee house as well, so it's super nice. And then what happened actually is that I only bought 1 book on this trip, and then I ordered 2 books online because they didn't have them, those 2 which I wanted. So the first one which I got is this one, my favorite. If you know me, you know that I love Alexandra Dumas, because yes, Three Musketeers, you know that that's one of my most favorite books of all time, and Count of Monte Cristo is right there as well. I absolutely love it, and I do own a copy of this in Slovak, but it's actually 3 different books, as I showed you on my Instagram, and those are in Slovak, but I always wanted to read this in English as well, so I decided to get this lovely Penguins Classic copy. And to be honest with you, this one, oh yeah, it's over. Okay, I think it's just notes as well, but basically it's over 1,200 pages long, so that's exciting. And I haven't read this, I think, for at least past 3 years or so, so time to start rereading this. And then, my friends, the other two books which I got are from Russian authors, and I mentioned this, I believe, in my last video, that at some point I really do want to read Brothers Karamazov, because I never read them, I never saw any movie adaptation, I never saw any play, any theater adaptations, so basically I have no idea what the story is about. And I got this version. Actually, all the books which I got, these three are Penguin's Classics editions, because I don't really care as much when I'm buying books, but then I really like the cover of this one. I really do. And also the last book which I'm going to show you, I love that cover, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna order this particular one. But anyway, my friends, so Brothers Karamazov, I already started to read this one, and I'm approximately 22 pages in out of 995. So long journey to go as well, but super exciting. And then, my friends, the last one of the which cover I absolutely love is by Leo Tolstoy, and I mentioned again in my last video that I never read any books by this author yet, and I decided to start with the absolute classic Anna Karenina, and I absolutely love this cover. This is going to be my very long TBR, my reading project, to read these three chunky books, but I'm very excited. Okay, my friends, and without further ado, let's do this tag. This tag is called 20 Questions Booktag, and to be absolutely honest with you, I have no idea if I already done this tag or not, and something tells me I might have. I haven't looked it up. I will after filming this, but something tells me I might have filmed this. But never mind, because again, time changes, and whatever, maybe my opinion changes as well. And this tag was originally created by Katya and Jay. I will link their channels into the description box below. And I was very kindly tagged by lovely V from the Sassy Library Fox. If you are not following these channels, please go and give them support, because they are super nice and sweet people. Okay, so how many books are too many books in a book series? For me personally, 2. Because I do not read series. I just like standalone books. I like whatever books which are not series, because I just cannot bear, if the book is good, then waiting to read another one and another one. That's also why I always preferred watching movies instead of series, because I just cannot bear it, like cliffhangers and all these things. Question number 2, how do you feel about cliffhangers? I just answered it, cannot bear them. Hard copy or paperback? I think now paperback, and I actually realized that 90% of the books which I bought in last few years, I'm looking at my library here, are paperbacks, and I also realized how much more expensive hardbacks are right now. I don't know if you noticed this, probably you did, but I've been thinking about this recently, that most of the hardback books I own are the one which I sort of like inherited, and I got them from my parents or from my granny, which they had when they were younger. But now all the books which I am buying are mostly paperbacks, also because they're a little bit cheaper, but also I just feel like it's how majority of the books are done. Not done, but you know what I mean, like paperbacks are everywhere. Favorite book? I give you 30 seconds to write it in the comments right now. I mentioned this author today already, so guess the book. Yes, it's Three Musketeers. Least favorite book? I don't think I have one. I don't think I have least favorite book, because there have been books which I DNF'd, and there have been books which I didn't like for several reasons, but I just don't really hold on to that, so I don't remember. And also because I in general, I do book reviews here, of course, so I always tell honestly what I think of the book, and if there is something that bothers me or didn't sit well with me, I always say it, but I just don't necessarily make a videos like, oh, top 5 worst books ever, because I feel like all of this is subjective, and if I don't like something doesn't mean that somebody else might not like it. Of course, if the book is, you know, speaking of something which is completely obviously very wrong and being racist and stuff like this, that's not good. But just to share books which I didn't like for the purpose of, you know, not making other people like them, I just don't think that it's okay. Love triangles, yes or no? To be honest, I do not read as much romance books specifically, and the only triangle which I can think of was Twilight when I read it last time when I was in primary school. Not my favorite, to be honest, because I always choose my preferable person at the very beginning and then I'm just either angry with the person because they are not choosing them right away, and then if they happen to choose them, I'm like, I told you from the beginning. So anyway, no. Okay, the most recent book you just couldn't finish. I actually have two right now, because the last one, which I mentioned in my last video, was The Emperor of Gladness. I read that approximately into over 100 pages, and for some reason I just felt like all the time I'm doing is just pushing myself to reading it. And right now, to be honest with you friends, I didn't want to say this yet, but I started to read My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, which is also on my list of the authors I want to read. I'm approximately 30 pages in, and I am 30 pages in for over a week now. So it might be a book which I will not finish. I don't know yet. If I should keep reading, let me know. If you like the book, let me know, because I'm not sure. Okay, a book you are currently reading. So that would be Brothers Karamazov, 22 pages in, and My Brilliant Friend, maybe, maybe not. Last book you recommended to someone. Okay, so the last book I was talking a lot recently about is My Friends by Frederick Beckman. But then I got pointed out in the comments, and it was rightfully, that maybe I should not recommend this to everyone, because that's what I said, because I mentioned the trigger warnings it has, but it's quite a heavy book to read, because there is a lot of like abuse and violence as well, and also death and loss and abandonment. So it might be really triggering for someone. But to me, I just recommended that book recently in at least 5 people in person, and then one of my few friends over the sea, and then here on Booktube, because I just love that book. The way how Frederick Beckman describes feelings and love and friendship and support for one another and importance of art and being a human is just so beautifully written that it's just sort of like overshadowed all the negative stuff. So bear in mind, please, if you haven't read this book, it's not an easy one and it has a lot of trigger warnings, but it's a beautiful one. It's one of the most beautiful books I read, so I'm gonna include it in this video as well and just recommend that book. But please be cautious. The oldest book you've ever read? I would say probably, because I do like historical fiction and because I do love authors like Daphne du Maurier and Alexandra Dumas and Victor Hugo, I would say somewhere these books, but I probably don't know the exact one. The newest book you read. So I'm not the one who follows new releases. I never done a video on new releases. I don't follow them. I actually don't even know where to find those. I actually don't know how booktubers do that, oh, here are 5 books which are coming out this year. I don't even know after 5 years where they do have this information from. Well, I probably could know if I put a little bit of effort, but this just never interested me, because I just read books which I do want to read, and I feel like there is just so many books all the time that I don't even have to think about the books which will come out in like a year or 5 months, because I have enough books on my TBR and in my mind and on my lists and everywhere in bookshops that I just do not follow it. So if you ask me for the newest book I read, I don't know about the release date, but the newest book for me, well, anyway, Brothers Karamazov, because it's not the newest, but you know what I mean. Okay, favorite author? Daphne du Maurier and Alexandra Dumas. Buying books or borrowing books? I wish so much I could say borrowing books, but I would completely lie, because no, buying books. Honestly, buying books. But to be honest, buying books, I even prefer to buy secondhand books and go to secondhand and vintage bookstores and charity shops to search for books, because I love it. But I just cannot say borrowing books, because I am the person who just wants to be surrounded by books, and I want to swim in books, and I want my whole place to be to be completely filled with books. And I like to write into books, I like to underline there, and I just want to own the book. A book you dislike that everyone else seems to love. Oh yes, recently I actually didn't even mention this in any of my videos, but that was a DNF for me in the beginning of March, and that was Wedding People. Did I mention this? I don't know. Probably, I don't know. But Wedding People, it's a book which I know it's a new release actually. I know that one. And I know that many people now have been reading it, and it was all over the Booktube and Instagram. And all people actually really liked it, and I do believe it's getting also a film adaptation quite soon. I started to read this and I couldn't get past first few pages because I was just so annoyed. I was so annoyed, like with all the characters and even like with the general setting. You know, like people who are going to this almost like a castle or super fancy place for a wedding, and all they are doing is complaining because just something wasn't perfect. And I'm like, what? I just don't like these things, you know? So don't judge me, but I didn't like this book and I DNF'd it, and I read only just few pages, few chapters, but from the very beginning I was just annoyed and I'm like, no, I don't need this. I don't need this. Okay, bookmarks or dog ears. I never done a dog ear in the book my whole life, and for some reason I don't want to do it, and it bothers me, which is weird because I still do write into the books. And honestly, even when, as I said, I like to getting books from charity shops, and in those cases, the more damaged the book, the better for me. I like it even more, but I just cannot bring myself to do a dog ear. I don't know. A book you can always reread. Three Musketeers, and I'm actually doing it now. I think I have it somewhere here, probably on my nightstand. I actually started to read this, I think, back in February, and it's one of those cases of I read this book at least 4 or 5 times in my life, and it's quite chunky one as well. It's over 800 pages. But now I started to read it in February, and I read it, you know, like once or twice a week, just few pages. I'm not rushing because I absolutely know every single thing that's gonna happen. I know what everyone is gonna do and say, but it's just comfort read for me, you know? Like if I have 5 minutes, I just go through the pages, I read it, and I'm happy. Can you read while hearing music? Not really, because it just disturbed me. Like I'm one of those people who, when I used to study or when I read, I just need silence. Only in one case, actually, when I was reading a Memoirs of Geisha, I was listening to a Japanese music, actually. One point of view or multiple point of views? Honestly, here I don't think I care. Do you read the book in one sitting or multiple days? Multiple days, multiple weeks and months. I am not a fast reader. Like I do read on average when I have a good month and life is not absolutely crazy. Excuse me. I do read 4 books usually. But I do read those books like over the course of week or weeks. Like I never, like unless it's something like White Nights, I just read it always in several days and weeks. Oh, okay, and here is the last question. Who do you tag? So I will think of some people and I will tag them and leave their names and the channels in the description box below. So please check out all of them. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Also, this is completely out of the context, but as it being 5 years, for the first time I had a look at my analytics and I found very interesting information, because I just don't go to my analytics because I don't understand it, and I just do this for a hobby, so I don't really care. But I look into my analytics and it says that 94.5% of people watching my videos are not subscribed. So please, this is your chance. If you like watching my videos, consider subscribing. I would be very grateful and very happy to have you in this our little bookish family. And yes, my friends, I think with this I'm gonna go because my voice is getting quite bad and my throat is scratchy again, so I'm gonna drink tea. But please take care, and hopefully I will see you with another video very soon. Take care, bye bye!